He asked this one single question. I spent the rest of the day really questioning everything.
I thought by having my business I was building wealth, but in fact I wasn't.
Do you have a pot of cash sat there that's shrinking by the minute in the bank account? You could be investing that.
A dream is not a goal. A dream is a dream. A dream is something that potentially will never come true because you're not taking it seriously.
Do I want to be coordinating cleaners and worrying about somebody who hasn't got a towel or a pillowcase? No.
Hey, welcome. Welcome to the bungalow. We're here again to talk to you about all things property, finance and mindset.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Nikki.
And today we're going to talk about a question that I was asked a couple of years ago that went on to shape my plan for the next couple of years. And today we're going to share it with you and ask you the same question. But first, Nikki.
Yes.
What's been happening in the bungalow this week?
Okay, you're going to laugh at me.
Always.
So don't judge me, okay? So I painted the small bedroom where we're recording the podcast right now.
Right.
And I painted it with a small gloss roller. Instead of one of these big rollers on a pole. Because the finish is...
No.
Okay.
Why?
All right. Well, that was a massive admission, so...
Because the finish...
Yeah, just because it looks really nice. But it looked like it took maybe 3 days. Ceiling, walls...
How many coats?
4 coats, but from plaster.
Oh, okay.
So mist coats, then a white coat, and then my white mist, which is the best colour in the world.
I do think you're mad though.
Yes, I am mad, and I won't do it with all the rooms, I promise.
Well, because it'll be like painting the Forth Bridge.
My shoulder has not thanked me either. The old rotator cuff.
The thing is, like, I get it about the finish, but you could have done a regular brush for the first 3 coats.
No, gloss roller for the whole thing with the tiny little, so it just leaves a really nice repetitive.
How big was the roller though?
About that big.
You were an absolute nutcase.
Yeah. But how about you? I mean, what's been happening with you this week, i.e. property?
I'm still in that property shopping phase. I've identified a few properties that I like that run at auction.
Ooh.
I'm just booking in viewings, assessing legal packs, running the numbers. My brother is my builder, so he's getting me quotes. We're looking at what we would need to spend to get places up to scratch and looking at the exits. So for me, any property that I'm considering needs to have multiple exits. So would I hold, do the classic BRRR, buy, refurbish, refinance, rent out. It's not that order, but
I have a strange feeling that this includes a lot of Excel spreadsheets again.
I don't know what you mean.
Let's agree to leave it there then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What are we talking about?
I don't know. I mean, you tell me. What are we talking about this week?
This is one of mine, really, isn't it? This is one that is a bit more personal to me. So I'm going to give you a bit of a backstory. I followed this investor and property educator called Paul Stapleton. There's loads of property educators out there. Paul is definitely one of the good guys. I really respect him. His knowledge is sound. He's really decent. He's down to earth. He runs this event once a year called the Property and Entrepreneur Summit, just down the road in Milton Keynes. And I scraped myself out of bed on a Saturday morning, out the house by 7:30. And I wasn't feeling very well. And I was like, and you're just in one of those days, I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I know I'm going to this networking event, but I really just don't want to talk to anybody. And I was feeling a bit rough. But I was sat there and there was various speakers, loads of brilliant people. Simon Zucchi was there.
Oh, wow.
And there was one speaker there and he asked this one single question, and literally I spent the rest of the day thinking, sort of spinning out a bit and really questioning everything that I was doing and really assessing, is it what I want to do? And just, really thinking through about my end goal. And I think that it was this question that made me step back from everything and look really hard at what I wanted my goal to be. I think there is a lot of rhetoric and conversation and social media posts, etc., in property world about goal, and do this strategy, do that strategy. But I don't know why this question really resonated with me. what I found in this busy room of hundreds of people was this space to think for some reason. It was just one of those weird days when it all sort of aligned. And so I think it's a really important question to ask. And I've wanted to talk about this on the podcast for a while, but we're recording this in January. And I think it's a good time of the year to reflect as we're, got a new set of 12 months ahead of us. But obviously, at any point of the year when you're listening or watching this, you can ask yourself this question. And I don't want to be all like woo-woo about this, woo-woo in January. At this point in my life, there wasn't anything that was in crisis. Nothing was going terribly wrong. But this question literally stopped me in my tracks and made me assess everything. And I did make big decisions because I was at this point with my serviced accommodation business where I had got 5 properties. I was controlling, I think, over £5 million worth of property. I wasn't particularly enjoying it. Okay. And I was at this point where I was like, I sat down in the morning in the first session of this and everything, and I was like, oh God, I've got to double down on this, and I've got to scale. Let's go to 10, 15, 20 properties. Let's go big. And then this question was asked, and I was like, oh God, is this serviced accommodation business? Is it what I want? And so it really did make me reconsider everything that I was doing.
It was a turning point for you, was it?
Yeah, it was a big turning point. It was a big turning point because I really thought hard about what was important to me and what I was enjoying doing. Because it's not all just about making money.
No.
If you're not enjoying it, what is the point?
Yeah.
This question empowered me to be bolder and to not only to make changes, but to try things that I thought I wasn't ready for. So the question that was posed to me and to make, not only to make changes, but to try 100 people was, is what you are doing going to get you where you want to be? All right? Is what you are doing going to get you where you want to be? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know.
Okay.
And I don't know whether it is. I don't know how much I'm enjoying doing serviced accommodation. There's a lot of hassle with it. It's labour intensive. Look, you just get people that complain, right? People have high expectations and they complain, and it's just draining after a while, and they get demanding. You will know what it's like.
Of course.
Christmas time, summertime, everybody just they want to pay the lowest they can possibly get it for,
and expect the world.
Expect the Ritz, right?
Absolutely.
And that just gets wearing. And I know I didn't do it for a super long time, but it is about what is suitable for your personality and your mindset and what you want to do. And to do serviced accommodation, you have to want to run a hospitality business. And when I heard that question, is what you are doing going to get you where you want to be? I thought, you know what, even if I did scale this, to get 20 houses, right? And if I'm running 5 houses, a value of 5 million, even if I was running 20 houses at 20 million pounds worth of property that would be controlling, even with the money that would bring and all the rest of it, is that what I want to be doing? Do I want to be coordinating cleaners and worrying about somebody who hasn't got a towel or a pillowcase, right?
Yes, that happens.
Every day, or who's taking the bin out, or dealing with a guest problem on a Saturday when I'm meant to be with my children. No, this isn't what I do. So actually, and while it took me, a good few months to put plans into action, and I have since closed down my serviced accommodation business, it was the question that started that ball rolling. And that was when I, made changes about what I was doing. It really, really resonated with me. I don't know. I mean, what do you think to that question? What's your first reaction?
I think it's a great question to ask a lot of people. I think it's really poignant, and it's something that everybody should always constantly be asking themselves. Yeah. So whatever you're doing first to earn the money at the fireside, yes, you have to enjoy it, but can you get your mentality around it just being short term and just being long enough for you to be able to create the passive income?
Is what you are doing, is that going to get you where you want to be? Put you on the hot seat. I put you right on the spot. You can tell me
You
to
have.
sod off.
You have. Yes, because I have asked myself that question. Yeah, and I've carried on with it. And I'm doing something where it's semi-passive to create the income to then invest to create full passivity. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Can't say it, whatever.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm earning the same amount of money, but not doing the same amount of hours.
In property compared with your television
previous career.
Yeah.
Yes. And maybe that I've clung to that, and that's something that keeps me going.
Yeah.
But because you're using assets and leveraging them, the income isn't from SA isn't directly correlated with the amount of active work you put in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in it's more.
That's right. Yes. So it's tricky. It's not for everybody.
When you have asked yourself this question in the past, I mean, you know, look at your life, and you were working in TV, and then you embarked on property as a side hustle.
Yes.
I mean, you know, prior to making that first step into property, were you asking yourself that question, or you know, in a different form of words, about was TV giving you your TV career, was that getting you where you wanted to be?
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't. I knew I wanted to be in the world of property. I knew that property was going to be my future. I'd done so many years of research. Like, when I say years of research, I was very, very obsessive with it. Like, day in, day out, obsessively listening to the same podcasts, the same people, podcasts that were repeated that I knew the content of, but I would listen to it because it might be in a different format. We're talking very obsessive. So I knew I wanted to be in property. It took me a year to understand that my property business was going to be different to my property investing. And that's when I pivoted the business and kind of split them slightly a little bit and started creating a way of moving money from my active cash flow into investments.
Yeah. Okay.
So it did take me time to realise what I needed to do. I thought by having my business I was building wealth, but in fact I wasn't, you know, not directly.
Yeah.
Not directly.
Okay. Ultimately, the what this question makes you do when you're considering it is what you are doing, getting you where you want to be, right? What does that make you do when you're thinking about that question? Well, it makes you think about that end goal, doesn't it? And then you have to unpack how you get to that end goal. You have to write the path to it, or reverse engineer it, as another way of describing it. And I think that is what a lot of people do. I think that is a sort of more of a, you know, rich dad, poor dad mindset, isn't it? You know, if we're going to go to one of those bigger forefathers of wealthy thinking.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, there's so many people out there. There's some people who, it's the whole, do you work to live or live to work?
Yeah.
Well, actually, you need to be in the middle there somewhere, really, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't want to be stacking shelves 12 hours a day just so that you could go out with your friends every weekend, and, you know, maybe you're gaming in your room, you know, in the evenings and your days off. You know, is that a life? Is that what you really want?
I think you're right about being somewhere in the middle, because I think that, you know, if I was going to say to, you know, if I was going to think about myself and what job would I want to do if I just wanted to make money, well, I'm terrible at maths, so this would never have happened, but I'd probably go and do something in finance, right? You'd be somewhere in the city, possibly on a trading floor, whatever, right? Am I going to enjoy that? No, that is not my comfort zone at all. Am I going to make lots of money if I was good and dedicated at it? Possibly. The other end of the spectrum is, you know, am I going to do something that is just going to make me happy? Well, I might just, you know, paint watercolours all day. I'm not very good at that either. But, you know, it might make me happy, But there are very few watercolour artists who are wealthy in the
Exactly.
world. I mean, look, the world's all poorer for it, but that's the reality of it, isn't it? Right? So you're right. You need to sit somewhere in the middle.
I read an article the other day entitled "The Death of the Career."
Oh.
So this is the argument, obviously, that, life's moved on. Things have changed a lot in the world of the career. And their argument was, moving forwards, will people have careers? Will people want to stick at this one thing for 40 years? It's changed. Imagine how much it's changed from sort of, the 50s to now. So imagine in 50 years, 60 years time from now, how different it's going to be. I mean, I believe that 1 in 7 people now have a side hustle.
Yeah.
Whether that's selling on Vinted, whatever it is, eBay, creating some sort of marketplace selling. I don't know. But so many people are now looking for other incomes. So would you say to yourself, I don't like working on the trading floor, I don't like this finance, but it's paying me £200,000 a year. And if I reverse engineer my life, I can only work in this job for 5 years, save enough, buy a farm, go and retire, and, birth lambs for the rest of my life. You're right.
I don't. It would depend how much I hated it. I don't know how much I could put up with discomfort for that amount of time, even for that amount of money.
People don't think that far ahead as well. They don't think about a plan. They get stuck in their career and they think that there's nothing else. Yeah. And they're blinkered like this. Yeah. Whereas actually, if you did reverse engineer your life and say, okay, here's the sums. I've been to like a mortgage, not a mortgage specialist, sorry, a finance specialist, a wealth specialist. And they've said, I need this much to retire. If I pay my mortgage off by this time, I'll be okay. I can live on this much. And that takes into account inflation and everything. And you go and do these sums, which are all calculated through what you call a Monte Carlo simulation. So once you've done that simulation, basically you can work out exactly how much you need to live on later in life.
Okay.
But people don't do it. People don't do it. They get stuck in their career. They think, oh my goodness, I don't know anything else. I'm in this awful job. I've got to go and find another job doing exactly the same thing at another company. I don't know, maybe I'll make $3,000 more a year. Or big deal, you've had a pay rise, but are you really enjoying this? I wish I could get everybody to set goals. A dream is not a goal. A dream is a dream. A dream is something that potentially will never come true because you're not taking it seriously. Turn that dream into a goal, then
with a plan.
Goals and plans have way more chance of coming to fruition.
Going back to the death of the career.
Yes.
I mean, our parents' generation probably grew up with the adage of a job for life, right? Yeah. And in their lifetime, that went.
Yes.
So it wasn't a job for life.
Oh, they were so successful because they'd worked in this one job for 40 years and they were getting an amazing pension.
And a carriage clock at the end, right? Off you trot, out to pasture. And that went away, and that's fine. It was, and then I think for, me growing up, my dad always said to me, work's just something that you have to put up with. And I sort of railed against that. I was like, no, I don't think it is. Like, I don't think it has to be. I think, you can enjoy your work, and I wanted to enjoy my work. And I do, and I'm very lucky in that respect. But I think that what shifted for our generation and for our children's, the next generation, and you're dead right, it's that death of the career, it's the portfolio career. But I think as that concept is becoming more commonplace, I certainly felt very scared about putting myself out there in terms of, people like to put a label on you, don't they? So, there's Kim who works in TV and, oh my God, what would everybody think about Kim in TV now being Kim in property as well? Yeah. And I remember I was taking my break from television. I was in property, but I was like, oh my God, do I put this on LinkedIn? Because it feels like you're out there with a megaphone going, bah, 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 bah.
It does.
This isn't enough for me, guys. I want to do something else.
I know. I went through the same thing.
It was really scary. But you know what?
You don't want to shut the door.
You don't want to shut the door.
That's right.
And you don't want people to think, oh, she's not available, or she's not doing this, or she's not committed to TV.
Yes,
or whatever
but
project
on
she's
the
in.
other side, you've got your mentors saying, if you don't go 100% into it, it won't
won't
work.
Yeah. But then
Tricky.
I got to the point where I was like, I've got to put myself out there. I've got to scare myself. I've got to sort of announce to the world that I'm doing this. And I did put it on LinkedIn. And it was really scary. And actually, I don't feel that I've had a bad reaction to it. People that I respect in telly who've got big jobs have actually come to me for advice about property. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was thinking, oh God, they know, But, it's actually really nice that I might be able to help them out and get them on their journey or steer them or whatever. So actually, that's a really nice thing to do. And so I'm pleased that I can do that, but it is scary. It is scary.
It is scary. But just for the record, I will say that the changes I've made and me moving into property has completely changed my life in the best way possible. I honestly feel like this is where I want to be, and I feel comfortable in my life now. I most of the time choose my own hours, decide when I work, which is very easy to get used to, as you know.
Yeah, oh my God.
So I wouldn't go back and change it now. And I think I hold things in my head. I do a lot of sums as well. I've got a lot of spreadsheets as well. A lot of it I do in my head. If you could give yourself a goal every year of what you're investing, if you could invest enough that in 10 years, that 1 year's worth of investing would mean 3 years of retirement, would that help you along your purpose?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how I think. I think, right, I this year I'm going to invest, this much, I'm going to invest it here. Now, then I spend ages looking at the predictions for these things, seeing where I think they're going, taking an average of what it might be worth in 5-10 years, and working out, how much earlier I can retire.
Yeah, those are good questions and numbers to run, for sure. And it all comes back to that reverse engineering, which I have to say you are so good at. And I know you've just refreshed all those figures and changed your goals, haven't you? That goal has gone up 150%.
Yes, it has.
I love that. Push your goal up by 150%. Shouldn't we be though?
Yes. I was thinking small. You need to think generational wealth now. Generational wealth.
Yeah.
You need to always think generational wealth.
Now, I'm not a massive fan of the comedian Jimmy Carr, but on his Diary of a CEO, did he not say every 18 months you need to be scaring yourself again? Because do you know what humans are really, really good at? It's assimilating and getting comfortable.
Oh, the comfort zone.
The comfort zone. But just like we'll push ourselves and then really quickly we get comfortable and used to it, right? And that's what they say, that actually winning the lottery doesn't make you happier, because very quickly you get very used to that level of wealth and comfort that comes around you. So you end up as happy as you were before.
Yes.
Right. And that's not to say it's a bad thing, because you might be way more financially secure than you were before, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. No one's ever going to say that's not. But we get very comfortable very quickly. And actually, this was why this question, is what you are doing getting you where you want to be, was a good question for me, because it made me assess things and made me want to scare myself again.
That's good.
And now it's taken me longer time frame for me to work out exactly what that is that I want to do, which is why I'm at this glorious property shopping. I love property shopping. It's so much fun.
It's great. It's great. No risk.
There's no risk. There's no risk being a keyboard shopper. But it shook me up and made me want to scare myself again.
Yes.
I think that's really important.
It is.
I want to keep asking myself this question. I'm happy with the plan that I'm on at the moment, to go out there, buy my first property at auction, and there will be multiple exits for this. Do I hold it, buy, refurbish, rent, refinance, hold it essentially, or do I flip it and sell it on? That is what I'm, want to do this year. I've got a financial plan in place. I've got my power team in place. I've identified the auctions. I'm looking for properties, but I will continue to ask myself this question. And I think, every 6 months, is probably a good time period to ask yourself that question, to just assess where you are and make sure that you're on the right path. And I think that everybody at home listening, watching this, I would suggest that they go away and ask themselves that question, really sit down and think about, careers and financial plans, and what is it that, I don't want to be on Marie Kondo, brings you joy, but do you know what I mean? But they are, whatever the form of words that makes sense to you and resonates with you, is something that is worth asking, because otherwise you're just going to sit there and life is going to pass you by.
Don't be too scared to make a change. Don't be too scared to make a change. Just go for it. Do you know what? If you sat down and did your finances, you could probably retire earlier. Do people? No. They need to look at their finances. You need to be at one with everything. It's one of the most important things in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, listeners of The Bungalow, is what you are doing going to get you where you want to be? Ask yourself that question. Go away, have a cup of tea, get a piece of paper, and write down your life, write down your goal. What does it look like? Where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? Who do you want to be doing it with? And then work backwards. How will you get there? Is it that you want to have a massive family holiday that you pay for every year, and that's going to cost you, I don't know, £15,000, £20,000, I don't know how much these things cost, whatever it is. How do you get to that money? Is it about buying an asset that's going to give you some cash flow, or that you can refinance after a certain period of time so you can release that cash? What is it that you can do in your life to get you where you want to be? Do you have a pot of cash sat there that's shrinking by the minute in the bank account, and actually you could be investing that? You could be investing that in a stocks and shares ISA or crypto, Bitcoin. You could be investing that in someone else's property project that you sit there as a passive investor and they give you a return monthly or at the end. You could be doing a joint venture, a JV with somebody, where you are perhaps providing the cash and they're a more experienced investor than you, and then you are learning from them as you go along. There are 101 different things that you could be doing to help you get where you want to be. So I think it's worth having that quiet time. Perhaps the kids are at the park with the other half, and you can sit down and really have a look at your life.
I completely agree. Do the vision board, with everything on that you want to look forward to and that you aspire to, and then do the most important thing, which is fill in the middle bit. Work out how you're going to get there and create that.
So we would love to hear from you. Have you asked yourself that question? What results did you come up with? What answers did you come up with? Is this a question that is sending you on a journey in a different direction that you haven't thought of before? Do get in touch and let us know.
Yeah, thanks again for listening today. So subscribe and give us a review.
See you next time.